everybody, and welcome back to Rock and Stone. Tom, Very Loaded Men here, and I'm back with some Votann combos for you today. This sort of builds on my initial diving into the Votann Codex, and obviously what I'm trying to do at the moment is find various different combinations and plays you can make in your games. I think there's a lot still to be unpacked and discovered with the different detachments. I'm going to be bringing you some more niche episodes about those in the future. But today I wanted to share 5 of the initial kind of power combos that have jumped out of me in different detachments to help you get started in your games. So without further ado, let's dive in. Number 1, it's not subtle, but it works. It's the Murder Fort. In a lot of ways, this is very similar to previous editions of Votann, right? You've got your land fort, you kill people, you be hard to kill, you win the game. I think it's at its strongest in Hearthguard Oathband, but the reality is it works in every single detachment because it's just a very powerful standalone data sheet in its own right. It combos particularly well with Thunderkin, and it can obviously carry 3 inside the transport very happily, ready to pop out and give it strip cover, which then makes its AP1, AP2 guns a lot more effective. In Hearthguard, you can set forts up in cover to control areas of the board. They have, if you have, say, CP saved or Votann nearby to make things cheaper, you can essentially void armor an attacking unit when it shoots you, absorb the damage, use the shoot back stratagem. The fort shoots back at a pretty high efficiency because it's got innate reroll 1s. It has its lethal hits on 4s with the conversion beamer if you take that, which I think you should, and sustain hits on the guns. So it can do a lot of damage to enemy units in their own turn, which is really, really nice. And obviously the increased transport capacity and the fact that Thunderkin and the new Steeljacks count for 2 apiece means you can actually have 2 or 3 different units rolling along inside this thing, able to jump out and solve problems as they occur. So at the moment, I'm loving having an Arkanyst, 5 Berserks, 3 Thunderkin. That's working really well for me. It's different options for different things that need dealing with. Can jump out, do actions, take an objective, shoot some stuff, strip cover, whatever a job you need, there's someone in there that can do it. And it's fair to say the land fort remains extremely potent. Obviously, the sustained 2 stratagem in Hearthguard is phenomenal on the conversion beamer land fort because it already has critical hits on 4s built in with 4 shots, which means that every 4-up is both a lethal hit and 2 additional hits on a strength 10 damage 4 gun, which is pretty spicy, very effective into a wide range of targets. Shouldn't surprise you, land fort's good. Enjoy. Next up is a detachment agnostic option, which is the Kapricus of Mischief. The Kapricus carrier in particular has my attention as a start point. I will look at the defender in the future, but I'm at the moment very interested in the carrier. The carrier allows you to split Jaegers, which is a great start point already. It gives you very cheap, tiny action and trading units, which Votann don't typically otherwise have. What I like using the Kapricus for on different terrain sets is essentially scouting up into a secure part of the board, behind objectives, and then if the cards or the needs arise, putting Jaegers out from the transport onto the objective, keeping them close to the Kapricus itself, wherever that is hidden. Then if the opponent moves to get onto the objective or come down that part of the board, the Jaegers themselves can reactive move, hop back into the Kapricus, and remain safe from harm. So you can use this to bait people out. You can use this to essentially either force the opponent to stick some shooting out or to move into the middle to deal with the Jaegers. It keeps it relatively safe, and it can draw the opponent closer towards you as well than they wanted to be. So, and obviously you have options of moving the Jaegers forward if they undercommit to dealing with the problem in the first place. I think this is really nice. It gives you a little bit of jank, a little bit of mischief in the early game before you commit things like your land forts, your heavier shooting, and you can play a little bit of early trading and skirmishing using the Jaegers and Kapricus carriers, and I think that works in almost any detachment you could care to think of. So really, really nice. Make some mischief out of your Kapricus carriers for sure. Next up is one I've not played a ton of yet, but I'm very excited to, and that is Berserker Rush. This is diving into the Delve Assault Shift, the glorious Berserker-based detachment. There's a whole bunch of combos in here that really help you get the most out of Berserkers. They become battle line and they become deep strike, so you can use them in a bunch of different ways. Some of the obvious immediate ways to apply this is to get a 10 brick of Berserks, drop it midboard in turn 1 via multi-wave system jammer, the enhancement. So you can put Jaegers somewhere secure in the midboard, then drop the Berserks in. Suddenly you've got an extremely aggressive, dangerous unit in a very important part of the board. It makes it quite hard for the opponent on certain boards to then dig them out. Once they're there, their reach is surprising because you can use Augmented Assault to boost their movement, give them advance and charge. This is the only detachment where you can finally make Berserkers quick, and it is delicious, remembering that in Hostile Takeover you're also re-rolling your advances, which is really, really nice. And Cyber Stim Infusion, once you connect, gives you full wound rerolls as well. So this will mash things. This is a very high damage unit with a considerable reach. And obviously for bonus points, you can use 6-inch piling and consolidate as well as a strategy. Good shenanigans here to move through screens and go into things behind them, tag things up as well. I suspect Berserkers may still be a little bit overcosted, but you can do some very, very fun and potent combos with the Berserker Rush in the Delve Assault Shift. So give it a go. Next up, I'm going to recommend the little arkanyst that could. He is my current favourite unit in this book. Is he good? We will see. He has a surprisingly good gun, right? When you charge him up, 6 shots, strength 8, AP 3, damage 3, really, really kills things. And he gets sustained hits 1 on his gun as well, hitting on 2s. It's a kind of profile that other Votann units in this book do not have. It's the same as the Hearthguard with the plasma, right? A bit of actual AP3 marine type body killing shooting is actually very welcome. A lot of the other guns flatter to deceive a little bit on that score. I think the key with the arkanyst is probably trying to get multiple activations out of him. To that effect, you want to play edges of the board with him, pop him out at a key moment to clear enemies out of that area, use the lone up within range of infantry to then keep him safe. He can also obviously sneak out and hold an objective. He's good in brand fast for this. You can have infantry set up off an objective, suddenly pop the arkanyst out on an objective that the opponent hasn't come to screen. He's then lone up from 12. They can't shoot or interact with him. Very nice way of stealing primary, relatively cost-free there and forcing the opponent to come towards you. I really like him in Hearthguard as well, where the Hunter's Mark stratagem goes really well on him because it gives him rerolls of 1 to hit and wound, which with his sustained gun just makes him very, very consistent at then killing, a squad of Marines, basically, a squad of Marine bodies of 2 or 3 wounds. He's really, really nice for that. And he's just neat. What a cool little guy. Absolutely love him. So I think I highly recommend trying 1 or 2 arkanysts in the list and seeing how you feel with them. Another unit that perhaps a little bit overpriced at the minute, but definitely actually does a lot more than you would expect. Finally, it's the Hearthguard dropkick. I am very much a believer that Hearthguard are still an entirely viable unit. I think they have a lot of play as a bully brick in a way that we've seen in Votann lists in the past. Specifically the 10 brick of Hearthguard with a Carl for lethals, and the Carl himself helps you generate yield points whenever the unit kills things in a phase. A Hearthguard unit can kill 2 things in a turn quite happily in shooting and in combat, so he's going to help you pay for itself as far as yield points goes. I think the Hearthguard brick works in almost any detachment because it just is a great deep striking, rapid firing sort of marine killing unit, and then it's got lethal hits in combat and shooting as well, so it can go through larger targets relatively happily too. But it's particularly potent in Hearthguard, where you can layer on additional buffs with Oathbound Speculator to give it +1 to wound. You can have the Sustain 2 stratagem to help those plasmas go places. It's also nice in Brandfast, where the Trivogue Cyber implant gives it Sustain 2 as well. But I say you can plug it in. There are a number of different stratagems it benefits from in other detachments as well. But those are the immediate standouts for me. I think in general the Hearthguard brick, now it's a little cheaper, is going to surprise people, especially because there are more synergies in here that make it do different things and work in interesting ways than you'd expect. And it is no longer so expensive as to be sort of damaging the sort of go wide effect of the rest of the army. It's a great ingress threat. It's a self-supporting damage and objective pushing unit, and with the -1 to wound in a wider turn of pressure, it can be quite obnoxious to deal with. Again, especially in something like Hearthguard, where you're going to kill a couple of Hearthguard, then the unit's going to shoot you back. That changes the pattern of how people engage with it a lot, and it loves void armor with the 2-up saves as well. Not quite what they were, but definitely still a very, very potent unit. Okay, guys. That is my initial 5 takes. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for supporting 6++. Please do hit like and subscribe and leave us a comment. I'm going to be bringing you some detachment reviews of the different ones and how to play them. I'm going to try and interview some people who are trying out different things out in the world in the near future as well. And I will hopefully be playing some Votann games. Do let me know in the comments other Votann content you would love to see. And I will endeavour to get involved with that next time. If you want to sign up and support us as a YouTube member, we'd love to have you. You can sign up via our YouTube there. And if you're interested in getting some coaching, learning how to play Votann, I'd be more than happy to work with you over in our coaching Discord. Brilliant. That's it from me. Lowest of Men out. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.